Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says Israel will stand alone after President Biden said he would withhold or restrict weapons shipments to the country if it invades Rafah. Republican senators on Capitol Hill condemned the move, with Senator Lindsey Graham of South Carolina pleading with the president to help Israel finish the fight against Hamas. If not, Graham warns, there will never be stability in the Middle East.
Mr. President, reconsider this. Mr. President, if you do not change this policy, you will have destroyed the last best chance to deliver lasting stability in the Mideast for generations. Drop bombs if you have to.
The Israeli military has ramped up its presence around the city of Rafah as it appears poised to start a ground operation. The U.S. has repeatedly warned Israel not to do so. CBS News foreign correspondent Ramy Inocencio reports from Tel Aviv.
Good evening, John. The far-right politicians in Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's government have been the most angry and the most vocal. His national security minister, who's an ultra-nationalist, Itamar Ben-Gvir, posted on X, "Hamas loves Biden." A legislator from the Prime Minister's party said Biden's actions jeopardize Israel and the entire free world, but there were moderate voices too. The president of Israel, Isaac Herzog, basically told those voices to quiet down, that they were hurting national security, and he then thanked Biden by name for his support in the war. Earlier, I spoke to former Deputy National Advisor Chuck Freilich. I asked him whether Israel could win the war without U.S. support.
If you look at it from a purely military perspective, I think Israel won the war by the middle of, the middle of December. We had essentially destroyed Hamas as a coherent military force. At the same time, if you say the overall strategic picture of the war, well, Israel may have lost. Its international standing is bad, and now we've seen this emerging divide with the United States. For Hamas, I think that's an incredible achievement, and for us, it's a very severe problem.
Freilich also said Netanyahu is probably dragging on this war as a matter of his own political survival. Meanwhile, in Gaza, Israel's military is getting closer to the city of Rafah. Our CBS News producer Marwan Al-Ghul, who is in Rafah, has been talking to hospital workers in the past day. One of them was the chief of the only functioning hospital there. That's the Kuwaiti hospital, and he says he feels the booms from Israeli strikes are getting closer, and there's been shelling only about 600 feet away from the hospital. Also, the WHO says hospitals in the south will run out of fuel in 3 days. And one more update to share. CBS News has gotten confirmation from the Pentagon that the first container ship that'll use that U.S.-built floating pier is now on its way to the Gaza coast. It passed us here in Tel Aviv earlier this afternoon. It's called the Sagamore, a U.S.-flagged vessel, and it left before dawn this morning from Cyprus. And it'll meet with the U.S. Navy ship Roy Benavides off the Gaza coast and then unload its supplies. The pier, though, is still in the Israeli port of Ashdod, but it'll be towed to Gaza, weather permitting. John.
Ramy Inocencio in Tel Aviv, thank you.